All right. Well, the first item is just for you to kind of summarize for me your teaching background and what you're doing now.
All right, so I'm in my sixth year of being a public school band director in the Georgia school system.
Uh-huh.
So I received my bachelor's of music education degree at Columbus State University. I student taught at Brookwood High School in Gwinnett County in the northeast suburbs of Atlanta. And then I taught for 1 year as the assistant band and orchestra director at Lanier Middle School. After that, I spent 3 years as the assistant band director at Stars Mill High School in Peachtree City, Georgia. And then I'm in my second year as the head band director at Tequila High School back in Gwinnett County in Georgia.
Okay. Okay. And do you teach all ensemble band, or do you teach any other classes?
Currently, I have 2 band ensembles, a concert band and a symphonic band. I do 2 music technology classes.
Uh-huh.
And then I also teach the percussion class.
Okay, I see. All right. Well, tell me about your school in terms of the diversity of the student body and maybe the socioeconomic makeup of the school.
Right. Our school is, I can actually probably get this online to you to be more specific later. Our school is 48% free reduced lunch.
Uh-huh.
If I had to approximate, I'm doing this off the top of my head right now. I
Sure.
believe we are 38% African American, 34 or 35% Caucasian,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the remainder is, I would say 20% Hispanic, and then the rest other. But I can provide, if you would like, there's a report. It's easy to access our demographic data. We have an official report on our county website that I can send to you later. But that's essentially it summarized.
Okay.
So I'll email that. I'll email the specifics to you after we finish.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Would you characterize your location, the location of your school, as urban or suburban or rural?
It's kind of a tricky situation. We are half rural, half suburban is what I would guess, is how I would summarize it. I don't consider us a completely rural school, but we do have, like, half of our district is on the rural side of the county, and then the other half live in the Lawrenceville suburbs.
Okay. And Lawrenceville is the closest big city?
Yeah, neighboring city.
Okay. I see. All right. Now, did your school pay for you to go to Midwest or contribute in any way?
I received free registration this year because I worked at Composer's booth. So I technically went as an exhibitor, but my boosters covered my hotel for the professional development.
Okay. And what is the amount of support for other years and for in your district? Do you have to get approved? Is there money? I guess is my question. Is there money?
The general policy that's been kind of going on is that my school will pay for the registration, but my boosters will cover hotel and transportation.
Okay.
So that's the general policy that we worked on. And some years, like, I performed at Midwest 2 years ago, so I didn't have to pay registration. Last year I had to pay registration, but my school covered it. This year somebody was able to get me an exhibit badge, so I was able to participate in all the professional development, but just helping out on the side with the exhibitor.
Okay.
So that was my experience for this year.
Okay. All right, well, let's talk about the conference. Why did you decide to go to Midwest? Have you been before?
My first time going was actually 2015. A lot of people have always talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think for many years, as an undergrad, even for my first years of teaching, I found that most of the clinics and sessions I was going to for my state conference, for the GMEA conference, the majority of them are best practice sessions, which I'm sure you're aware of what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was always just a little bit of a gamble. You know, sometimes you would get tangible information. Sometimes you would get information that didn't really apply to you, or some of it was just like, well, I've done this and my programs were good, so this must work. So I just found myself at times kind of questioning the merit of the information that was presented. Not saying that I didn't attend any good clinics, because there definitely have been some fantastic ones,
Mm-hmm.
but I just kind of had that itch for like something more. And so I had the opportunity to perform at Midwest in 2015 and just went to as many sessions as I could have. And I think when my original plan was to go to Midwest every other year, but after 2015, I decided I'm just going to go to this every year. Additionally, and this might sound crazy, but the Midwest early registration is actually cheaper than my state conference registration.
Oh,
which is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, for registration itself is cheap. And as long as I can get myself up there and get the hotel covered, you know, it feels like there's enough convenience there for me to go and then just be exposed to world-class educators and ensembles. So my goal is to try to go every year from now on.
Okay. Tell me about some of the sessions that you attended this year. What stood out to you?
This year, I changed it up a little bit. I went to a composer reading session that I thought was really, really good. I went to an instrument repair session. I don't remember the name, but I felt like me as an educator, there are some things that I needed to attend to with that. Travis Cross's rehearsal techniques with, I think it's Chino Hills Ensemble, was fantastic. Gave some really, really good reminders. The Australian group, I think Blackburn High School, if I'm correct, or something like that. The Australian high school did a session with an Australian composer about, I guess, bringing out intricacies of compositions and the ensemble playing that I thought was very, very good. And then the performing ensembles were, of course, fantastic. I enjoyed going to that as well. But those were some of the ones that stuck out to me that I can recall.
Okay. And whenever you were deciding on which sessions to go to, looking at the descriptions in the app, or if you had a physical program, what was your thought process as to what would be most, fitting to your time, most worthy of your time?
I always ask myself where I am at as a teacher, what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses, and what I cater the sessions I pick towards my weaknesses as an educator. And so, for example, the instrument repair one really stuck out to me because we don't have instrument repair classes in undergrad. And being in a relatively more rural district, I used to work at a more affluent school where kids would get repairs on their own. I'm finding I'm having to do smaller repairs on my own. So I attended that session to get more information about that. I generally try to go to woodwind sessions if it works out with the scheduling, and if I can, because I'm a brass player, a brass performer. So if there's any kind of bassoon sessions or saxophone sessions, I try to go to that if the schedule permits. So that's just kind of my basic thought process.
Okay. And are you a composer yourself?
I'm a music arranger. I've written several shows for high school bands and WGI Winds groups, but I'm not a composer.
Oh, okay. Because you had mentioned that you sat at the composer's booth and you went to the composer reading session. So I thought maybe you.
No, I just had the opportunity. I became friends with Tyler Grant a few months ago, and he just invited me to help set up and break down his stuff. And then I went to the composer reading sessions in order to find new pieces to play with my ensemble. That was the main goal of that. Was that I just was kind of itching for some new rap. I have an older library at my school, so I decided to just kind of sit in on that and see if I could find some gems in that.
Are you the only band director at your school?
I am.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, what do you plan to bring back from the conference and integrate into your instruction?
I definitely think that the rehearsal strategies one with Travis Cross was very, very good. Just this level of just fine tuning how I'm rehearsing in the band class and using my preparation or using gesture. I think is going to be beneficial. For example, another thing that I think I need to do more of in the classroom that I kind of got reminded of from this session is that I just need to do more singing with my ensembles of some sort. And kids are uncomfortable with singing. So with all the sessions I went to that had the full ensembles, they all did singing of some sort. So So that's another example of how I'm going to incorporate some of these strategies into the classroom, and that could be singing through chorales in order to work on intonation. That could be singing through passages just to emphasize articulation.